I ignored every warning and stepped into the white fog. 10 minutes later, I was standing beside my own grave. The headstone didn't say I was going to die. It said I already had. We all wonder what happens after death. But imagine discovering your own grave while you're still breathing and realizing everyone you love has already moved on without you. That's the kind of truth no one is prepared to face. Before this night ended, I'd discover who had been visiting my grave every week. Why every tombstone in the cemetery belonged to someone still inside St. Mercy Hospital. And the horrifying reason the doctors refused to let any of us leave. I expected to fall, to disappear, to wake up back in my hospital bed. Instead, the fog slowly parted. Trees emerged first, then broken fences, finally, rows of gravestones stretching farther than I could see. The hospital hadn't been surrounded by empty space. It had been surrounded by a cemetery. Every path eventually led back toward St. Mercy. As if the dead were being guided home, I found my name near the center of the cemetery. Daniel Brooks, beloved son. 1992 to 2026. Fresh flowers rested against the stone. Someone had visited recently. Then I noticed something impossible. The date of death matched the day I crashed my car. But my funeral date was blank. It hadn't happened yet. I reached out to touch the headstone. My hand passed straight through it.
You're not supposed to see that yet.
I turned to find an elderly woman dressed entirely in black standing behind me. She carried no umbrella despite the rain. She smiled sadly.
Every patient has a grave here.
She said.
Most of them never find it.
I asked who she was. She looked toward the hospital and answered quietly.
I was the first patient they failed to save.
Before I could ask another question, every bell inside St. Mercy began ringing at once. The woman led me deeper into the cemetery. Every headstone carried a familiar face. The elderly man who had waited 43 years to go home. The little girl from Pediatric Ward. The surgeon who performed my operation. Every single one had a grave. Every single one was still alive inside St. Mercy Hospital. Then I noticed something even stranger. None of the graves had burial dates, only admission dates. It was as if the cemetery wasn't recording deaths. It was recording arrivals. We hid behind a row of weathered monuments as footsteps echoed through the fog. 3 people emerged carrying flowers and lanterns. They weren't mourning the dead. They were speaking to them. A woman knelt beside her husband's grave.
Please come back. The doctors keep saying you'll wake up soon.
She whispered. Another man apologized to his daughter for giving up hope. Then I understood. The people outside believed their loved ones were lying unconscious inside the hospital. They had no idea we were walking, talking, and trapped somewhere between life and death. The hospital bells stopped all at once. The cemetery fell silent. Then a man in a white doctor's coat stepped out of the fog. Every visitor immediately lowered their heads as he passed. The woman beside me whispered one name.
Dr. Elias Mercer.
He looked exactly as he had in the faded hospital portrait hanging inside the lobby, except that portrait was dated 1911. He stopped walking, slowly turned toward me, and smiled as though he'd been expecting me.
Mr. Brooks, you've wandered much farther than most patients survive.
Dr. Mercer reached into his coat pocket and removed a patient bracelet. My name was engraved on it. Beneath it were two dates. Admission, April 14th, 2009. Discharge, tomorrow. I looked at him in confusion.
Tomorrow?
I whispered. He smiled gently. Daniel. He slipped the bracelet onto my wrist.
You've been hearing that word for 17 years.
The cemetery vanished. I opened my eyes back in my hospital bed. A nurse pulled back the curtain, smiled warmly, and said the exact words I now feared more than death.
Good morning, Mr. Brooks. The doctor says you'll be discharged tomorrow.